When I do this, I want you guys as loud as you can to say orange. 1, 2, 3. Orange! I can't hear you. 1, 2, 3. Orange! You took your fangs and you injected your words. My defense flew away like a cluster of birds. As time went on, your poison took its toll, and my muscles began to crumble as if I was old. My mind no longer focused on the task at hand, but on the snake that poisoned this man. I died slowly as you waited for your meal. But you messed up and you left the field. I cheated death, or so I thought. You wrapped your body around my heart tight. You kept kissing me sweetly into the night. You squeezed tightly around my soul. We held each other when we were cold. My pulse began to fade and then die at that point. You then swallowed me whole. Body, heart, and soul. Hi guys, my name is Damont. Welcome. As you can see behind me, there is a list. So today we'll be talking about lists and numbers. Lists and numbers. So as I said, list and numbers. So numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, or let's say your top 5. What is your top 5 favorite sports drinks or something like that? In your list, as I said before, look at my shirt, good vibes. Good vibes. That's like on the shirt. It lists good vibes all over my shirt if you want to take a look real quick. So that in and of itself is amazing technique to use in a poem to drive home a point with multiple topics. It is like a subtopic within the poem. It can get very, very deep. So while we're on this road called poetry, I want you guys to be able to use your creative engines when you're writing your own poem. So take the moment to go ahead and get your pen and paper out. You can pause this video, get your pen and paper, and I want you guys to write down lists and numbers. Record. Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about lists, and we're also going to be talking about numbers. So when is a list used? List is normally used in a poem when you want to drive home a very, very important point or topic, and you want to use different methods and avenues to do so, such as you can have colors. You can list some colors and associate those colors with a feeling. That is very, 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 very common. You can list your top 5. Top 5. That's also included with numbers. So numbers and lists are very, very similar. Again, but you don't need to use numbers to have colors. So that's really the difference between the two. On certain topics, you can list various different things within a poem to drive home a certain idea. So when one poem, I use the word father, right? I put the word father. And within the word father, I used multiple different definitions to say the word father. I believe it was egad, promogenitor. Then I use auditory, and I used a bunch of different words to say father or father figure or fatherhood. And I drove home the point of, well, in that particular poem, of what I was trying to get. So you guys can simply use this technique to do so. So as I said, take out your pens and paper, write down the word list, and what I want you guys to do is think of an important topic that means something to you. And as we discussed in our last video, what we discussed was repetition. So I want you guys to use the technique for repetition, and then use the technique for lists. Also, I'm going to add on to their numbers. Now, numbers is very simple. 1, 2, 3, or top 10, or top 5. You'll see that inside of a poem sometimes. Some of my favorite poets have used this to, let's say, the top, Joshua Bennett, great poem, top 10 things I want to say to the black man or the black woman or whatever have you. Sometimes they'll list steps like going to the dentist, or I've seen somebody use that in a slam poem. So sometimes they'll hide it within the poem to drive home an extra topic. And again, so combining these two, list and numbers, are very, very powerful things to add on to, but it does take that creative stance to explore different topics in different realms as it relates to the poem in and of itself. So you have to really explore that topic. So for instance, if we're going to talk about, again, father, right? You can break down a father poem. If you want to write a letter to your father and use that in a poem, you can use the list. You can list things that they have done for you, the father has done for you that you're happy about. You can also list them using numbers, saying, I remember when I was 5 years old, the father did this. I remember when I was 4 years old, and then you can go forward all the way down to 1, and then you were born. There's multiple different variations of how you can use this in a poem. So I'm going to implore you guys to sit down, take a couple of minutes, write what's on your heart and something that's meaningful to you, and use that list and numbers within the poem on top of repetition. So it's going to get a little crazy, but it will work as long as you don't overdo it. So my suggestion is, for a very, very simple poem, is to do the top 5, whatever your favorite top 5 is. You can start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can start from the first list, or you can go from 5, 4, 2, 1, and you can add or subtract and get a little crazy with it in the middle in your writing, equaling, let's say, your age or something like that in the end. It depends on how you want to write it or how you want to formulate it. You can get a little creative with that particular topic. And the same thing goes with the list as well. If you wanted to try your hand at a list, I would definitely implore using colors. I love colors. Orange, my favorite color is orange. I can break down orange into a list. I can say, okay, we could talk about seeds in a poem. We'll start out with the seeds, then we'll go to the tree, then we can go from the seed to the tree to the fruit. A great place to look for an analogies with fruits and bearing things is, obviously, I like to say, the Bible. They have a lot of poems in the Bible, especially in Psalms, that deal with bearing fruit. So you can take inspiration from almost anywhere and apply it to your poem using the technique known as list and using the technique known as numbers. So there's 52 different types of poetry. I'm not going to go into the different types. I'm just going to simply break down certain techniques and skills that you guys can add to your repertoire. So that's basically it. I'm going to give you guys an example. I'm going to read a poem for you guys very quickly. I'm going to read this poem, and then we're going to discuss how I used list and numbers in this particular poem. I dedicate this poem to Marie Mikael. Rest in peace. She was my poetry friend. If you have not gotten a chance, please look at Sebetuye and look up A Windy City of Poems of Lust and Desire. Those are both of her books. And to all women that struggle with this particular disease, know that you are more than just this one particular moment. This is called Numinus Mater Familias. She had the silent strength of hope like in a hurricane, the quiet voice that guides your fears from reality, the kind of strength that stretches, bends, and twists like two pieces of hair that never break, bonds that never sever but connect muscle, tissue, and brown skin. Brown skin that bears the weight of queendom. She loves beyond the scope of her own creations, yearns to be entangled with the unconditional. So she offers all crown and glory, all gut and testimony for her kingdom, all air for her heirs, even if it means she suffocates in silence. Her words of advice may have fell on deaf ears, but she will not release the weight of responsibility no matter the heaving. Heavy is the light of her glow. Praise is the prism of her reflection. She is the original image of what it means and what it takes to be an artist. A queen befitting her throne, a symbol of what empowerment looks like. She is the perfect cast to mold, the perfect role to model. What I mean to say is, if I could use one word to describe her, magnificent. One word that tried to destroy her, cancer. One word that ensued, battle. Your battle scar gives me hope. These are battle scars where scar tissues are reminiscent of a heavy heart like your treasure chest. Been through a few things to know. Hope at a bar in an 8-second conversation about the facts of life is unexpected. About the facts of life. You lost your hair, but not your crown. Warrior still proud, my divine lady. Everyone will not know the battle that waged under your skin, but remember the poet, the character, the personality of a queen who sits on her throne, making those who pass by aware of the happiness life has to offer, so never give up. We depend on you. This cancer you speak of, it only affects your mortal frame, showing us just how human you are, reminding us that life is short, that the battles are long, and to win will come at a great cost, but you have learned its secrets. Family stands by you. Love surrounds you, and its value is immeasurable. Today, I have learned one thing, and it wasn't that you had cancer. It was the strength you possess, the kind of woman you are, queen. And no single cell or entity can rip that from your breast. So if I could use one word that describes your outcome with cancer, conqueror. For you will always be more than a survivor, but a conqueror. Hey guys, welcome back. So in that particular poem, I can break down a couple of lines for you from the poem. She had the silent strength of hope, like in a hurricane. The quiet voice that guides your fears from reality. The kind of strength that stretches, bends, and twists like two pieces of hair that never break. Bonds that never sever but connect muscle tissue and brown skin. Brown skin that bears the weight of queendom. So in that particular piece, what I'm doing is I'm connecting the last line or the last topic to the next line. So I'm listing certain qualities and connecting them to the next one. Another thing that I do often is I also list her personality traits, specifically when I say under your skin, but remember the poet, the personality, the character. So the poet, personality, character. That's a form of list. I also go in and I say today. So in normal circumstances, it was a play on words. Normally it's spelled today, but I said two, as in the number two. And then I go one, as in one. So poets will do that sometimes. They'll interchange certain numbers that sound the same or letters that sound the same and interchange them. And you can, and this is the part of the creative process that I was talking about. When you're on that highway and you're driving, you're going 45 miles an hour using that creative engine, and you want to put in that extra oomph into what you're saying, and you're in front of that audience, you want to do things like today and use the number two instead of the word to, T-O. And you'll do things like that. That'll take what you're saying and drive home the point, and even hide it, even a little bit hide it. So these are the type of things that you guys want to do, and that's also called numbers. So that's playing with numbers. You guys go ahead and enjoy this. Go ahead and write your poem now that you know, have a little bit of ideas and inspiration. And I'll see you guys soon, where we will talk about the next topic on our list. See you soon. Hey, we're here at Stillwater Books in Pawtucket, one of the pillars of the writing community. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Here's my book right here. It's called Damont Combs Presents a Touch of Orange. It is currently in Stillwater Books. I also have my first book here, my poem, My Riddle, right here. Hey guys, so I'm just simply going to talk to you guys about the historical beginnings during this segment, or I'm going to talk to you about my own personal experience with this particular topic during this segment. Now that we got through all the technical aspects, I'm going to do it in another 5 minutes or less. So let's begin. My personal experience with list and numbers, I found that it to be a very powerful tool that I came across when I discovered, like, when I asked myself, what makes a poem great? And numbers really gave me the ability to expand upon a topic, hitting many different points. And list came right along with it. Now, originally, I was going to formulate the masterclass between list and numbers and have them separate, but they're so close together that they're practically the same thing. In certain instances, specifically when it comes to the top five, or specifically when it comes to, when the list and the numbers converge onto one. But there is instances where list is completely separate from numbers. One of those instances I like to say is during this poem where I wrote, is called Men of War. It's probably one of the most greatest technical pieces I've ever written. And it would literally take me 10 minutes to explain and break down what I did in the poem. So I think it's divinely inspired, and I changed one letter in the word until it became a completely another word. Then I did it in an auditory manner as well. And it's just truly an amazing and powerful tool to have if you use it correctly. So you guys go ahead and check out Men of War when it does come out. I haven't published it officially yet, Men of War, but if you guys study that, everything that I've taught you guys in my masterclass, if you study Men of War and you look at that poem, I use all the techniques in Men of War. So you guys go ahead and check out Men of War when my third book of poetry comes out. It's going to be amazing.